watching SKST Radio.
Well, welcome to another episode of SKST Radio, and you tuned in to Real Talk with Cammie, Grayson, and friends, and I have a new friend, goes by the name of Fletcher Wolfe. Welcome, Fletcher!
Thank you, Cammie. Thanks for having me.
Good. How are you today?
I'm doing very well, thanks.
Good. Okay, so people need to know who you are and what you do. So start off telling people who you are and what you do.
My name is Fletcher Wolfe. I'm a cinematographer based in New York, but I travel anywhere to work and have worked in many places. I'm here today because I shot a movie called ESME, My Love for a good friend of mine, Corey Choi, who directed it. And I could go a little bit into the backstory of how I got into the work I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Well, I grew up in Boston, always loved the arts, was always into music, dance, visual art, theater especially. And then I got into photography in high school, still photography on 35 millimeter film. And when it came time to apply to undergrad programs, I had this eureka moment where I realized cinema was photography and theater combined, kind of. And I was like, that's it. I think that's what I want to do. So I applied to NYU undergrad in film. Luckily, I got in, and even more luckily, I made the right guess. You know, a lot of people go to undergrad and then realize that's not what they want to do, you know, what they chose to study. But I was really lucky that, you know, this is what I want to do. And I've been working in the film industry for about 18 years now.
I was about to ask, how long have you been doing this now? 18 years. That is amazing.
Yeah, I did my first feature film as like camera department assistant and video assist when I was 19. And I camera assisted for a couple years when I was still in school, and then realized I wanted to switch into lighting because it was lighting and rigging is a little more creative than camera assisting. I was a lighting technician, electrician, and gaffer eventually. Gaffer's the head lighting designer for about 8 years. And for about 7 or so years now, I've been a cinematographer, which was always my end goal. When I got to film school, I realized pretty quickly I wanted to be a cinematographer, also known as a director of photography, or DP for short.
Okay. So exactly what do you do for a movie?
So the cinematographer is sort of in charge of realizing, fleshing out and realizing the director's vision in terms of, you know, this comes down to lensing, shot listing, camera placement, camera movement, lighting, you know, lighting colors. These are all choices that guide the audience through the story. And, you know, we often try to get into the heads of the characters and go on an emotional journey with them, because, you know, you could just point the camera at something and not care where it's coming from, but how close the camera is to someone when they're stressed out or above them, you know, puts them in a position of less power. Those sort of choices help tell the story and make it, you know, what a movie is.
That's exciting to be able to come from all those different aspects and to be able to follow that character and project what that character is putting out there for us. So that's
exactly
really cool.
Yeah, we really help. I mean, every department head, you know, the production designer who's in charge of the sets, the wardrobe designer who's, you know, obviously in charge of wardrobe. You know, there's so many. Film is such a collaborative art form, and takes so many people who are great at their job to sort of work with the director. The director's like the hub of the vision, and, you know, they tell us what they want, and then we come back with ideas, and, you know, they'll say, yeah, no, that works. And then we also, all of the department heads, we sort of we'll meet in prep as well and talk together about, you know, things like, you know, there's a lot of overlap in what we do. Lamps, practical lamps, the fabric the curtains are made out of, you know, those things that are the production designer's job and their department's job also affect the lighting. So there's a lot of overlap and collaboration.
Wow, it's amazing. I love your job. Listen, I want to learn how to do it now. Okay, so we have the trailer. We're going to play it. And once we play it, we're going to come back. And I wanted to know what your role is in those different scenes, you know. But we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with the trailer. All right, if you're just now tuning in, you haven't tuned in too late. We're about to go into the trailer of a new movie that's coming out next month, right?
June 2nd. Yep.
June 2nd. All right, let's go.
There once were two little girls. They both were a lot like you, and they were the best of friends. Sisters. The world is a strange place, Esme. So confusing without guidance. The answers, they're out here calling to us.
Are we gonna meet her soon?
Look, I just need you to be good, okay? You have to trust me. You have to trust your mom.
I told you I feel fine. I don't feel sick. Really.
Just wish we had more time. The past, it's never really gone. It can be changed. We have to save Emily. She's calling to us. What a horrible family we have. Our own personal genetic mutation. I'm doing all of this for you.
You need to tell me why we're here in this stupid forest!
Esme, I told you we came.
No, stop lying!
I love you and I would never do anything to hurt you, okay? Okay? Here.
Ooh, that movie is interesting. Okay, so now all those cool scenes, what was your role in making those things happen?
Well, from the very beginning, the director and some directors, I will say, they come, to a project fully storyboarded. They know exactly what they want. But my experience generally with, projects I've been on is that it's a collaborative effort coming up with what the shots are. The script is on the page, but it doesn't tell you what the camera should be seeing at any given moment. So I love to do a pass of the script where I take note of emotional beats. I ask questions like, whose scene is whose perspective are we in? Whose movie is this? Or what's really going on under the surface in this scene? Because it's not just, the words on the page aren't everything. There's a lot underneath that. So I do a pass of the script that I call the emotional pass or the psychological pass. And that sort of gives me and the director a map of character arcs. And so we know like what beats we want to hit and who we want to be empathizing with at any given moment. That's sort of step one. And then that informs the shot list, and we collaborate on coming up with what the shots are. So, and then once we have that done, that often takes 2 or 3 weeks out of our, typically 4-week prep. And then, I know it takes a long time, but it's really important. And then, I also choose what camera we shoot on, what lenses we shoot on, the shape of the light. And in a movie like this, you can probably tell it was, it's in the woods. It's mostly natural light. So, I brought on a team of my good friends I've worked with before. It's, in camera and lighting department. And we did a lot of use of, bounce cards and negative fill, like solid, it's a lot of like sort of fabric and bounce and just sort of working with what the sun is giving us and just augmenting the sun. And then there's some night scenes where it was a low budget movie. So, we were getting creative with flashlights and, faking fire.
I thought there was low budget because the quality looks great.
Thank you. That's,
absolutely great.
When Corey and I have been friends for a long time. We actually went to film school together, and when he asked me to do his first feature, I knew the budget was going to make it difficult, but of course I wanted to come on and do my best and make it the best it can be, because every movie has constraints and limitations, no matter what the budget is.
Right. Well, it sounds like this is an exciting career that you have, and I would love to be a fly on the wall. How was it working with like the little girl in the story?
Audrey, well, number one, there's just two people in the cast.
Yeah.
And so that was actually wonderful, because I feel like they're in every scene, except for some B-roll of the woods. The woods, by the way, Corey wanted to feel like a third character, and a number of people have said that they feel that. So I think we succeeded. But actor-wise, there's just two characters. So I got to know these performers a lot better on this movie than I might on a cast with more people, because they're just spending every day with them. Mm-hmm. They're both wonderful. Audrey was only 9 at the time we filmed this, and she's so talented and so professional. And sometimes, child actors, especially like Audrey, are so amazing at their job. Sometimes you forget they aren't just mini adults. And then, but then you get off set and they like pick up their stuffed flamingo, and you're like, oh, right. You are like, how are you so good at what you do? You're 9. But yeah, a lot of presence of mind and talent.
That's really cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I am so proud of your work, and I look forward to seeing more of your work out there. Tell people how they can get in contact with you.
My website is fletcherwolfe.com. It's spelled as it is here in the lower third text. My Instagram is just Fletcher_Wolfe. And there's contact info, for me there, both of those. And please, watch ESME, My Love, starting on June 2nd. I believe it will be on Amazon, Apple, and Tubi.
Nice. Okay, it's time for words of wisdom. What can you give to someone? What type of knowledge can you give to someone who's striving to be what you are?
I would say, study movies and TV and media, and find what you love and find inspiration there in the images, but also you have to get on set. In-person learning is invaluable. Nothing can replace that. And I think I'm sort of part of one of the last generation of filmmakers who really had to come up through apprenticeship. There's a reason, I wouldn't trade the 8 years I spent in lighting for the world, because it made me a much better DP. Not only do I know how to light and have direct experience with that, but I also learned how to run a crew, what you're asking of your crew when you ask them to do something, what it really takes, how much time it takes, how much people power it takes. So I would say, of course, watch movies, be the buffiest movie buff you want to be. But if you want to, do this job and work on set as a camera assistant, as a grip, as an electrician, and see how other people do things, and eventually, and work your way up. And I still, to this day, and many colleagues, very talented colleagues of mine, will still, reach out to friends and say, hey, I'd love to camera op, hire me for a day, just to see how our friends tackle different problems or different styles they have, because the amount you can learn from the people who've been doing this for a long time is endless.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny because our engineer, he's always doing something cool. He's working on different types of fun things, but he keeps going. He doesn't stop. He keeps going until he perfects it. And so This is some great wisdom for him as well.
Awesome. He sounds cool.
He is cool. Thank you so much for being on the show. We want to invite you back. You have friends here in Virginia. If you ever need us, we're here for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise. Okay. Until next week, guys. SKST Radio. Fletcher, tell them bye.
Bye.